Yeah, I think I still had to finish the story. We didn't finish last 2 weeks ago. I hope everybody still remember. Maybe refresh and everybody's memory. It's the girl, and they want me to denounce. And um, I read her diary, and I was very much touched. So I wanted to talk to her. So I visiting her in her village. And at first she didn't want to let me in. And because she was very depressed, very sad, she was wanted to suicide. And then finally, she let me in because I told her, and the book she quoted in her diary, Anna Karenina, the one, the guy translated this Russian novel to the Chinese is my relative. And so she let me in. She told me because that guy, Uncle Ro, also is her father's best friend. So that's why she let me in. Then she started talking about her tragic story and why she wanted to suicide. I just mentioned that 2 weeks ago, probably everybody forgot about that. And the Shanghai Caring Committee coming to visiting us on behalf of our parents, but they still have the agenda. It's called the class struggle, and to divide and conquer us, to helping the CCP to further brainwash us, reform us. And so they found out that Ling lived with her boyfriend, Lee, and they had a baby. And so before they get to her village, and they tried to hide the baby, and but they just took the baby to the beach, and by the sand pit, they saw that maybe some village in the world took the baby and taking care of it. Then later they can find her back. And so they put the baby to the beach by the sand pit, but somehow nobody picked her up. And then the tide is coming, and then the baby washed away and by the water. And then they found it in the downstream, the village, and baby's dead. So the committee want to charge them as a murder, and so interrogated them. And then the leader of the committee, he is also in that time. They have this whole group. Actually, is one. Some people is a rebelling group. They were a leader of the group, and some other people and actually was punished by the rebelling group, and they coming with and a conservative group people. So the one saved my life, and that was the Old Chen, and he's belonged to the conservative group. And but this Old Ding, and he is the rebelling group, also their leader. So he talked to the girl, and they separate the interrogation. He threatening the girl. He said, I want you to sign the paper and to accusing and your boyfriend is a rapist. So that way, he said that not you not both go to jail. So one of them you can stay, and but the condition is, and also he wanted her and to sleeping with him, and provide a sexual favor, and she did turn her boyfriend in and signed to do everything, but because he promised her eventually they both were released, they also will get transferred to other place. Nobody will know what's happened to them. So basically, but after she slept with him, and nothing happened, and they arrest the boy and say he's a rapist, put him in jail. She's still hanging out there, so she She lost her love of her life. She lost her baby, and so she didn't want to live. So she asked me. She said, "Is there any reason you think I should live? For what?" Also, arranging that before her parents both suicide um, in Shanghai. So I really cannot think about any reason because, I had been through that. I wanted to suicide when the red guy, is make me to denounce my parents and took me away from the home. But my father told me, you still had to stay alive. At least, you had to outlive the evils. And so I wanted to tell her about that. So also my parents, my father still, every Thursday, his day off, he always nonstop writing to me. And so I always can receive the letter. It doesn't matter because it took about 2 or 3 months we had the mail coming. It's about 5,000 miles away. And but I told her, she said, well, I had no parents. I had nobody, nothing for me. You just gave me a reason you think I should live. Well, so what can I say? So I was thinking over and I tried to find something. So I said that, and during the Cultural Revolution and in the apartment building I live, every day I'll go home, somebody suicide. And they think they use death to contest and against this violence and to the people, like the Communist Party and to demolish people, the humanities. But nothing happened after they die. Just just nothing happened. Only thing happened is that their loved ones very sad. So I just want to tell her about that, and then also I told her, if you believe in God, maybe you don't. Maybe you believe a creator. So I always believe your creator create you, have purpose. Just think about that purpose. Maybe that purpose wants you to witness other people's life and to tell the truth. Or somebody else, they stay alive but to witness your life. So any life, just like right now people say life matters. I think every life matters if you believe the creator, you believe in the purpose of the life. So that's all I can tell her. And so I said, well, maybe right now, you lost everything, but your boyfriend, Lee, still there. You feel so bad, like you betrayed him, I turned him in. But eventually, maybe if he can hang in there, he still can get out. So you still can get together. So right now, if they agree to transfer you to another village, so nobody will know what's happened to you. So you're probably much better. And you still can live, just hang in there. Anyway, um, she listened to me and she said, okay, I'm try. And I say, they're going to have this denounce critical meeting and the next day. But I can talk tomorrow. I talked to Old Chen and about the old thing, what he did to you. And maybe they don't want these things to explode. Everybody will know about that. It's becoming their scandal, right? If I talk about that, so they probably just quietly cancel the meeting and then transfer you to another village. So I talked to Old Chen, and he was shocked, but I wasn't surprised. And he said, in that case, I said, I want to talk to other people, and those people control this committee, and they maybe will just cancel the meeting because the girl will talk, right? And so they canceled the meeting, the resort is, and they transferred to another village. So about 40 years later, I went back and we had a reunion. All this 1,000 kids, we went to the labor camp together. We got reunion. They also invited this Shanghai Caring Committee. That guy, Old Chen, was there. I'm looking for Ling. I'm looking for Lee, her boyfriend and Lee. And they told me um, Ling eventually and end up in the mental hospital and die over there. And Lee was get out 20 years later in jail. And then he lost everything. He's used everything. So basically, come out just in the very difficult situations. He's still living in Shanghai, finally back to Shanghai, and but just barely made a living. And then one of a girl, we went together in the 1980s. He escaped from China and to Hong Kong, and he lived in Hong Kong eventually and becoming a human rights attorney. So
Wow.
I talked to her. She told me, she said that she found lots of those kind of things. She wanted to write about it. First, she wanted to record it, to interview them. So she did and recorded, including Lee, whoever still alive. Basically, they put all the kids, and probably dozens, and accusing them rapes or whatever it is, and put them in jail. And also say they are the group, rapes group or something. I never know about that things. So she said that she investigated that. She have they recorded, everybody, because after 40 years. So she said that she want to give me a copy, and maybe I can take it back to America and be safe. And because maybe in none of these days we can tell the people what's happened, really happened, and and so. But actually, I said, well, I think we probably had to consult with the people, the victims, and they wanted to talk about it, or they don't, or whatever. But they still live in China, and most of it they say they don't want it to talk about. So that's what happened for this whole story.